Are you ready?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
We are back. This is episode 167. It is Tuesday night, just past 10:15 p.m. here in New York. Hello, everybody. I am joined by Brandon, aka Bash. Brandon, how you doing, sir?
We're good. We're good. Still a lot of work. This weekend was definitely Summerslam. Saturday was they didn't need a lot of Saturday, but Sunday cooked. Sunday was great. Raw absolutely cooked as well. So they did, I would say, a great job Sunday and a really good job on Monday.
Oh, yes. This was a really, really good weekend that we had. And if you think SummerSlam cooked, if SummerSlam cooked, Monday Night Raw boiled. Absolutely boiled. And you know what? That's how every single Monday night should be, which we'll get to in a little while. But that's how every Monday night should be. So we're gonna jump right in, Brandon. I talked enough about SummerSlam this weekend. We covered both night one, night two. We had the Back Sports page team with us both Saturday night and Sunday night. And we talked all about it. But I want to hear your thoughts about SummerSlam. What were some of your favorite takeaways from this past weekend?
Let me run down. So Saturday, I was able to rewatch a couple of matches. It was tough to find on my stream. It wasn't working too well. Sunday, though, I thought that they did everything correct. Right down to the winners of everything. Roman keeping the belts. Chad Gable winning at home is great. Chelsea Green getting the belt is fantastic. Kevin Owens coming back out of nowhere, Randy coming back out of nowhere, like a lot of craziness going on. I can imagine you guys spoke about KO coming back, and I know that, well, bikes drive by. I know that you're not a big fan of guys jumping the line immediately on their comeback. So now, literally 2 years away, and Kevin Owens comes back, and the
Well,
same.
at least he won a number one contender match and earned it.
Fair, but like, it's not like there was a tournament for him to get in. He's just been wrestling for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then got healthy at the right time. And then now Cody versus Randy. Hopefully they do this correct this time and keep Pat McAfee far away from this storyline. And I think that's really, oh my God. Why? Why does Baron Corbin have a damn belt now? Why?
So that's what I'm not really a fan of. Good for him, though. I mean, he's definitely championship material. But, like, he, just waltzed right in, attacks somebody, and then gets a title match. Like, again, wins and losses don't really matter in WWE, apparently.
They just AEW'd him. They really just, like, gave him the belt in the first month because he
actually did. They actually did.
Him. Like, it's just, and I understand getting the pops too. At least Chad Gable kind of like earned it, deserved it. Like, I texted my friends during that whole thing. This man made it through long hair phase, made it through Shorty G, tag teaming with freaking Jason Jordan, who's now a backstage rep, which is awesome. He made it through a luchador phase to then get hurt and now to come back and win the belt is, I mean, just a perfect arc. I've been watching this guy since I restarted watching wrestling back in 2018. So for him to come back and do all this craziness is fantastic. Uh, oh, if they ever try to make Solo heel again, I will riot. Solo is hilarious on the mic. He's fantastic in ring stuff. And he's funny as all hell.
Solo Sokoa is doing some amazing work right now. Absolutely. I love the fact that they're showing his character. And based off of what we saw this weekend, I don't think it's going to turn anytime soon.
And then, the Danhausen stuff has got to stop.
I
Now
think they gave
like,
it a break on Monday night.
yeah, I don't think we saw much of it.
Nope, they gave it a break.
If anything, it's not about the break, it's about the cringe. And like, I understand that like a lot of these writers are probably close to my age. There might be some older, like there's a whole mishmash of people in this. So I'm just a little confused on what they're trying to get at with, I don't know, like doing all this nonsense, this garbage, these money matches. So yeah, I don't know. The money on
This
the
is the
pole
problem.
kind
Like
of took me away.
Danhausen is still over, but again, they
Mhm.
are running the risk of overexposure. And there's going to come a point in time. I'm not too sure if we're there yet, but there's going to come a point in time where the fans are just going to start rejecting it. It won't be as over as it was because now now if you're going crossing that line of overexposure, the fans are going to get tired of it at some point, and we could be heading that direction. I do not know, but he is one of the most. He is arguably the most over WWE superstar right now, and WWE is just trying to strike while the pan is hot. The merch sales are up and everything, but at the same time, you shouldn't roll them out any more than once a week. Keep them on one brand.
Absolutely.
And we have a comment by the chosen one 7875. I think he needs to stay off the air for 2 weeks. Make the fans miss him a bit. Absolutely, 100% agree. And the concert. I mean, no, I wouldn't say the concert hurt his momentum really. I think it probably does
I agree.
more damage to Joe Hendry than Danhausen. But
Hmm.
yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. I don't think it hurt his momentum, but
I will say a lot of
it was a
people.
cringe-worthy segment, and it was just it was like a car crash that you can't even look away.
I will say SummerSlam, at least people, how do I say it? People dressed up. They all looked like him. He had Bret Hart pants on. Like it's just everything that at least he did kind of showed like, hey, I I want to be a wrestler. Like he doesn't move fast. He's not this guy that is gonna wow you in the ring. But he shows he wants to be a wrestler. He likes everything about it. And he's meeting fans. Did you see who one of his actually two of his mini housings were?
One of them was Hornswoggle, and I think the other one was oh Lucharito or
So one was
you know who I
El
mean.
Torito
El Torito,
from Los
yes,
Luchadores, I believe was
yes.
their tag name. That was one of them. The other one, or one of the three, was Brad Williams, the comedian.
No kidding.
Yeah, I had no clue, but they did a whole behind the scenes. He got painted, dressed up, and everything. So he didn't
Unbelievable.
really do too much of the move set, I believe. He was probably just thrown off by, JD. But yeah, apparently I saw this whole thing, got painted up and everything, and I was like, "That's insane." And then they called him Torito Housen. I was like, "No, you guys stop! Come on." And then Brad Housen, he called himself Brad Housen. But yeah, I'm a big fan of him as a comedian. So to see him, he went on a podcast and he was like, I don't know what I have to do, but I want to be a mini Housen. Let's make it happen. And for him to make it happen in SummerSlam is just fantastic. So that was a cool one. I think that was really it for SummerSlam. That really like blew me away,
Mm.
and like noteworthy, I would say. And we'll talk a lot about the other returns that happened on Raw because
Oh, that's coming.
we had a few returns at SummerSlam, but
Mm-hmm.
damn, to see the ones on Monday were great.
Yeah. So, check this out. So we have some breaking news from earlier today. It was announced that Brock Lesnar is officially retired. Something that we thought we were getting at WrestleMania 42. I was there, and I basically every fan in the building thought that this was legit retirement. Unbeknownst to us, it was an angle to end up setting up his retirement, and it just kind of um it was just weird booking with Oba and King of the Ring and how that all went down. You really didn't need Oba winning the King of the Ring, and I get it for the long term booking, but you had Seth Rollins who was in the tournament that ended up uh, taking on Roman Reigns anyway. But so the whole Brock Lesnar wanted to do a 3 match series with Obafemi and put him over. I suspect kind of changed some of the plans that WWE may have originally wanted to do with Obafemi, but Brock Lesnar announced on air today during the McAfee show that he will be retiring, and I can't believe Lesnar has been with the company um 24 years ago, 24 years ago, and maybe like tack on an extra 5 months or so is when Brock Lesnar debuted on WWE TV. And I remember being at a couple of his matches even before he may have been on TV. I saw Brock Lesnar versus Jeff Hardy at Nassau Coliseum House Show. I was there in SummerSlam 2002 when Brock defeated Rock in the main event, and arguably one of the greatest main events in SummerSlam history. And that was 2002 Nassau Coliseum. I saw Brock Lesnar defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30. I was there in person for that at the Superdome, not the Silverdome, the Superdome. So I've seen a lot. Brock Lesnar again versus Undertaker in that same year. I believe that was SummerSlam when Undertaker rose up and had that maniacal laugh on his face, laughing at Brock Lesnar. So
Mhm.
many different Brock Lesnar moments. Uh, I remember I was there for Brock Lesnar's return, WrestleMania 28 in Miami, and the Raw right after that when he laid out John Cena. I've
Wow.
seen so many Brock Lesnar's. I mean, pretty much the whole Brock Lesnar era, the John Cena era, the entire era is been my own era, parallel of going to WWE wrestling events, and that you know will probably continue through the rest of Roman Reigns' era and Oba Femi's era for the next 10 to 15 years. I see myself going to WWE events and seeing what these guys can do. But yeah, and it just blows me away that it's been just about 25 years since Lesnar debuted, and it's he's had a good career in UFC. I was at Lesnar's last match, WrestleMania 20 against Goldberg, when he stopped when he left WWE for about 8 years, and then he came back, and I was there for the return. It's just yeah, I've seen a lot of Lesnar in my wrestling journey, being a fan, and always some great matches that he's had, and so yeah, big announcement today. And any thoughts about Lesnar and his retirement?
I was just looking to see who came in first, Cena or Lesnar, and it was Lesnar by about 5 months, which is pretty crazy. Um, and then yeah, for Cena to retire, Brock technically outlasting him, even though, like you said, he left. But that man fought real giants like Frank Mir twice. So, definitely different types of fighting versus John Cena, who literally in a couple of interviews and said, "I haven't punched anybody for real in 20 years." So,
Wow.
and it was crazy. I never really watched UFC like much when he was there. There were a few matches I remember because my grandfather was watching at the time, funny enough. But now for me to be watching and I'm able to literally go back and watch his old matches in WWE and UFC, crazy what he was able to do throughout his entire career. So I give the man props. I wish that they would have. I wish Oba would have remembered the spot correctly and actually put him on the wood, but it happens, It should have been on the exposed wood. They should have sent it away that way, but it's okay.
Well, I mean, who's for us to say that that was the spot that was gonna that was what it was supposed to be? For
It
all we
looked
know,
like
Brock
it.
Lesnar could have just told Oba just to drop him on the mat, not on the wood. You know, we
True.
just don't know. But that wood was used for a spot for the tombstone during that match.
And that was how it was done at uh Hell in a Cell with Undertaker, so that was kind of cool to reminisce that back.
We are going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw. Raw did feel like a fresh season, fresh storylines. It felt like the Raw after WrestleMania. This is what really, this is what every Monday night should feel like. To be honest with you, Brock Lesnar's a generational talent. Absolutely, he passed that torch to Obafemi on Sunday nights, and now Sunday basically kicks off a whole new generation where Obafemi is going to be that guy, that Lesnar for the next 15 to 20 years. But let's start working our way into Monday Night Raw here. Raw felt like a very, very good show. There were a lot of takeaways. So, like, the way I orchestrated tonight's show, the topics that we have, hopefully kind of covers everything, the most important stuff that we got to talk about. But there was just so much. But let's just jump right in. We had the return of Becky Lynch came out. We're gonna start right there, and then we'll work our way to the other points of the show. But we had the return of Becky Lynch, and there were plenty of Raws where her absence was definitely noticeable. Some Raws lacked star power. There were Raws that maybe Roman wasn't even on or Punk wasn't even on. And but Becky Lynch came back and confronts the Judgment Day. So let's talk about how we got there. We had Sol Ruka versus Roxanne. Sol Ruka with her game face on as Roxanne and Judgment Day were already in the ring. Did you see the barbed wire of Raquel Rodriguez's IC belt, by the way?
Yeah, I felt a little tacky, but it was
Really?
for
I
her.
thought it was pretty cool. It
I
was
guess so.
different.
Yeah, it was
It was
something.
different. I'd like to see her lay out somebody with that belt and maybe like cause some like blood or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
See how real that is. But anyway, Liv Morgan interferes. Roxanne gets DQ'd because Judgment Day always has to attack. And we see Becky then come back. Her music hits for the save. She came back to a massive pop. Let me tell you, Iowa got treated with a very, very good show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure if geographically Iowa had any business getting a good show like that, but they did. Um, and then we see Becky Lynch confronts Liv Morgan yesterday, and you know, Becky says that she's coming for Liv. She's not coming for Raquel. She says she's coming for Liv and her belt to make sure that it's not another 100 days before Liv Morgan defends that belt. And she also goes on to say to Liv Morgan, all you've been is a valet and a flirt. And you've had the worst title reign of all time. And everyone's saying it. Liv says you should have been home. Liv then says you should be home with your daughter and that you are jealous because your time is over and my time is now. And I am the greatest world champion of all time. So this is what was being said back and forth. But then Becky drops another line. She is so good. Says, "You're not the greatest champion you're not even the greatest champion in your own group. You're not even the greatest champion that slept with Dom." Uh,
Crazy.
I was loving his dialogue. Then we get the return of Stephanie Vacquer. Now Liv Morgan is surrounded. We see Liv Morgan get in the ring. Becky Lynch is watching on, and Stephanie gets her shots in on Liv Morgan. Um, and yeah, Becky and then Stephanie Vacquer have a stare down, and Stephanie Vacquer is like, "Get out of my way." Liv Morgan's like, "Oh, what if I don't?" Anyway, so that was upon me reading the lips. You couldn't hear it, but you read the lips very well. With that being said, where do you think we're going with that? I think if I have to guess, we might get a number one contendership match between Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vacquer. Winner gets Liv Morgan. Do you think we're gonna go with that? Now, keep in mind we have people are forgetting. All right, yeah, the next PLE is in October, but the next big show that's not a Raw or SmackDown, the next big show is Sunday night's main event. That will be in September, first week of September, which is kind of treated like a PLE in a way, sort of. Where do you think we go next with these ladies? I think we go into a triple threat.
Mm, nah, I think you're right on it. I think we just do. Well, you know what? Yes, it's going to be a triple threat. Um, I think that they'll first have the number one contendership, and then the Judgment Day will end up, or Liv will end up attacking one of them or both of them, and leave them both a mess. And then Adam Pearce will do his whole rabble 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 rabble, and then he'll just make it a triple threat.
I could actually see that. I could see that happening. Triple threat and possibly Money in the Bank.
Yes, because that's all that ever happens is Adam Pearce gets upset, and then he does whatever he can to screw the champion out of a regular opportunity.
Yeah,
But that's
so
all. I
this
feel
was
like that's been the GM kind of. That's been the GM role for a while, honestly. It's just like set up whatever matches the wrestlers already want to set up. So you can see that face off. That's going to be a one-on-one, and then Liv is going to get involved and beat both of them up.
Tyson, I feel like you've probably been listening to a lot of Busted Open because Bully Ray said the same exact thing about a couple other storylines, which will carry. We'll talk about in a little bit, but yeah. So some people, Bully Ray on Busted Open today was saying, the next PLE is not till October, but you know what? They have the time to build a good story. Blah 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 blah, and yeah. So apparently, Bully Ray said the same exact thing as what you said here, a long break from the PLE. And sometimes I like that. I like storylines to breathe a little bit. I don't like when they have 3 weeks in between pay-per-views and they have to, slap a few quick and what have you. So if they handle it right, we'll see what we got. I hope we're in for a good fall because technically the night after SummerSlam always kicks off the fall season. Even though we're 5 weeks away from fall, it's always, we start getting into football, kicks off the fall season. So with that being said, I hope we carry on the momentum week to week from what we got last night. So yeah, so I believe we are headed towards a Becky um Stephanie feud #1 contender match, which could also lead to a triple threat. We've seen that bait and switch many of times. So anyway, moving on. Let's talk Obafemi. We mentioned it a few minutes ago, and he is the one that basically had a Brock Lesnar's last 3 matches, retired Brock Lesnar. And I wanted to get your thoughts. Like, where do we go next for Oba? You saw his promo last night. It was kind of vague in a way because he didn't really in his promo he didn't really give us the exact direction that he's gonna go in next. He's just like, I'm the ruler. I'm Oba Femi. I'm the king of the ring. Blah 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 blah. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what's next? What are you gonna do next, Oba? But then Oba is on the way back to backstage. Right before he gets to the entrance, we see this stare down because the Visions music hits and Braun Breaker comes out. I'm like, oh. And we got the stare down. Tell me what you were thinking at that moment when we got the stare down.
Um, I really, I really didn't have any initial thoughts. Like I
Like,
figured
this
they
is a
weren't.
major match.
And
Like,
that's
this is
what
a future WrestleMania main event.
absolutely, and that's why them doing this in August feels a little like I love the future setup and everything, and both men will most likely be in the Money in the Bank match, so you know that we're going to see them at least face off a little bit in that moment, so that's going to be great. Um, but yeah, I guess we go from there and see. I don't see this as a potential match moving forward. Um,
Well, I gotta tell you this. Uh, when we had, because back in the day, every major superstar has had another superstar who we consider 1B, right?
mhm,
Um, all right, so let me put it this way. Hogan always had Savage and like DiBiase. Those were like the feuds that they always went back to. John Cena had Randy Orton. And maybe for a little bit Batista, but he had more of a long storied rivalry, Randy Orton. Um, who else am I missing here? Roman Reigns, long storied on and off rivalry with Seth Rollins. I believe that Oba and Austin and Rock. Austin and Rock,
mhm.
they had their first matches like battling for the Intercontinental Championship '97. Then they had their WrestleMania main event, WrestleMania 15, their WrestleMania main event, which is arguably the greatest rated main event at WrestleMania and greatest WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 17. Then they had their final match, Austin Rock at WrestleMania 19. So you see where I'm going with this. So I feel like Albafemi and Braun Breaker are going to be the next 2 guys that are tethered to each other. They're going to have a long storied rivalry together on and off for the next at least 10 years. And tonight was basically the start of it, the plant of the seed. So we don't have to necessarily wait till WrestleMania 47 or 48 to have these guys main event in a WrestleMania. Um, they're gonna feud a little bit now in their earlier career, then they'll leave it alone for a few years, and it'll be an even bigger match when they finally main event at a WrestleMania.
Hmm.
And it's
That's
just gonna be an ongoing thing for the next 5-10 years as long as Braun and Obafemi stay healthy. These guys are gonna be tethered together for a long time to come. And Trick and Carmelo, those guys are gonna be tethered together in feuds for a long time to come too.
I like it. I can see it.
Oba requests Paul to tell Brock to say thank you. So I thought that was really cool. Um, Oba comes out, and the first thing I noticed about him last night was his white robe. He had that. He says words don't describe what transpired on night one. He says that we went to war, but we came out and found a new respect for one another. Oba realizes that it was all a test and that the question was if Oba can swim. And that question was answered, he said. And then the next question was, okay, when we get to this match, how long could I hold my breath? And um, it turns out that he goes blow for blow, and Brock Lesnar took him to the deepest depths, and I swam up and passed the test, and now the beast can finally rest. And and then he goes on to say, "My destiny seems clearer than ever." This was the point where Obafemi should have said, "I am going for a world title," and I was hoping that that would have been revealed, but wasn't. Um, and then he goes on to say, "There's no correct path. We forge our own destiny, and I forge my own way, and I'm gonna lead a new generation, and the old guard will fall. And if anyone else has a problem with me, you answer to Obafemi." And then, so I mean, the question is, where do we go, Obafemi now? So what's next? What are we doing here? I mean, and obviously, we're getting they planted the seeds of Braun Breaker, which is going to be a phenomenal feud. These guys are already two big superstars. This is a huge match that we could potentially get. Keep in mind, we have Money in the Bank coming up, but there's also Sunday night's main event coming up in about a month from now. Where do you think we're headed, Brandon?
I know we're putting the puzzle pieces together of Monday Night Raw. I am a little upset at the other big return that happened. You can't see me, but I did quotations. But yeah, I felt like that would have been a perfect time to give Oba a brand new face to wrestle against, and would have been an actual like size difference that he hasn't seen. But you and again, I will allude to it now because I already did. But you bring back Big Cass to randomly attack Javon Evans. This would have been a perfect setup for a large, two big meaty men slapping meat. Like, would have been a perfect setup. It could have lasted until Sunday night's main event next month, and would have led perfectly for a Money in the Bank opportunity right after that. Like, I just don't
I
understand.
think they should have saved. You're right. I think they should have saved Braun Breaker for a later moment, and then have Big Cass come in.
Like,
It looks like to me they're going to eventually build.
Yeah.
Big Cass is definitely going to be on a collision course at some point.
Absolutely. As soon as I already see it, as soon as he does his little light pose, considering it's dark, that's when Big Cass will come out and attack. Like, I expected that tonight, and then all of a sudden he came out 30 minutes earlier for Javon. And I honestly even thought after the Javon attack, I thought he was going to come out and get Oba as well. And he was just going to attack everybody throughout the night. Because I can't remember who did that. But somebody did that years ago where they literally like came out, attacked somebody, 30 minutes later attacked, another 45 attacked, and they did like 3 different run-throughs throughout the whole night. I was like, I'm just here to
Is there a
to
time
hurt
frame that
people.
you remember?
Maybe COVID time, maybe a little bit after it.
Oh, okay. I can't even think. I know maybe Mick Foley may have done that.
That could have been another guy.
Bob
Yeah.
Backlund probably did that back in the day. Like I'm talking like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Cass is back and he looks better than ever.
He's
I know yesterday was just
juice,
night
and I'm
one,
not
but
talking
I'm bought
orange
in.
juice. What'd you say?
I know yesterday was just night one, but like I'm bought into like his seriousness. Like he for somebody his size, he needs to lean more into the character that we saw last night instead of doing the hokiness that we saw all the way up to 2018 when he was with Enzo. And it just it just wasn't hitting with me. But if you have the more serious side that we saw with Big Cass yesterday, I think they can go places with that. And you need a guy like him who could be a threat to face off against an Obafemi. You need a guy like him that can have a David Goliath storyline with Chad Gable, which I think we'll probably get to eventually. Um, he looks good. He looks good. So let's talk about what he said on the mic. Let me just pull that up here. But he was backstage with Jackie Redmond. And let's see, where was this here? Trying to find it. Okay, there it is. Okay. So Javon Evans was in the ring with Ethan Page, and Javon Evans looked like amazing last night. He looked amazing. Ethan Page looked great, but kicking out of every pinfall finishers. But there was a spot at the end with Javon Evans jumping over Ethan Page and the referee, then jumping onto the turnbuckle, and then turning it into an OG cutter. And onto the OG cutter was onto Page for the win. And Javon Evans gets his win, and then Big Cass returns with the big boot. And then we see Big Cass in an interview later with Jackie, and he says 8 years left. He was 8 years left for dead in the dirt, and it took him all that time to get back from rock bottom. Says Javon was just in his way, and he says he's here to stack bodies, and he's just the first. Javon is, and he surely won't be the last. So that tells me that I think for the next couple of weeks we're going to see Big Cass. Almost called him Test. Jeez. Big Cass actually looks like Edge and Test had a baby.
Honestly, with a little
Come on, look at the
diesel in
two of
there,
them.
absolutely.
Tell me I'm not lying.
You're right, with a little diesel in there, and you got it.
Oh man, Big Cass.
All I know is he's 7 foot tall.
He's gonna be on a rampage for the next few weeks. It looks like.
Oh yeah, he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. That's all I know.
I just, you know what? Like, I'm glad he's back. I'm glad we saw Kevin Owens back. Like, I felt like there was a freshness that entered SummerSlam a little bit. Different people getting wins, like Chelsea Green, and we had some returns last night. Like, I felt like there was a freshness in the air, which I absolutely enjoyed, and I just hope. Like, I just can't sit here and be 100% confident that WWE is going to pull off the same good Raw that we saw last night next week. I mean, I know they can do it, but at the same time, it's they'll have a really good show 1 week and then they'll have a bad show for 2 weeks. It's just how it is. But I know Triple H can deliver a good show every week when he wants to, and he did just that last night, and hopefully we see that going forward. So we'll see what we get out of Big Cass. Good to have him back. But we already talked about Alba. We already talked about let's go here. Let's go to the Roman Reigns LA Knight confrontation. This opened up the show on Monday night. Let me see if I choose the right image here. Here we go. Cool. Roman Reigns and LA Knight confrontation that we had opened up the show. Let me tell you something,
brother.
Let me tell you something. LA Knight had a major pop for Iowa. Iowa of all places. Anything Midwest and Deep South, those crowds are always dead. But Iowa, of all places, popped big time for LA Knight. LA Knight had the pop of the night. Really, really good banter back and forth between LA Knight. What did you think of this promo before I start running it down?
Oh, I was a big fan of this one. Like you said, I've said it and been on record multiple times on the podcast that I'm an LA Knight fan. So for him to now finally get another push towards a belt is awesome. And I couldn't agree more with a lot of the stuff he said, He had some great lines in there too, and I know you're gonna allude to some of them. Like he really just proved why the people like him. He's good on the mic, and he has halfway decent skills in the ring.
Yeah, and not to mention Jey Uso sold that blood force trauma so good on Sunday night.
Yes.
But LA Knight comes out, he congratulates Roman Reigns for winning and doing it on his own. Hip hip hooray. LA Knight otherwise calls Roman Reigns a fraud because of the amount of times that Roman has had helped and the amount screw over his opponents for Roman to win. The amount of times that LA Knight's been screwed over by Roman Reigns and the bloodline and what have you. Obviously that all backfired at WrestleMania 40, with Cody getting the win, but in that path and in that journey of Roman Reigns' 4-year reign, LA Knight was the recipient of getting screwed and never got a title shot again after that. And the numerous times that Bloodline has screwed over LA Knight. So LA Knight calls Roman Reigns a fraud for always sticking the Bloodline on him. So he challenges Roman. And then Roman says, "What have you won? You haven't won a big match. You may have wasted my cousin's time, but you aren't wasting my time. Get in the back of the line." And I was like, whoa, this is getting good. And like, Roman Reigns is basically echoing what Triple H echoed this past weekend, how, title shots should be earned and stuff like that. But let me correct you. Roman Reigns and Triple H have been echoing what I've been saying for the past several months, that title shots should be earned. So obviously Triple H has been watching the Aftermath Pro Wrestling podcast and then relaying that information to the WWE universe, and then Roman Reigns is regurgitating that. So anyway, LA Knight says he's earned his spot. And you know what? He kind of has. He's over. He's gotten organically over. He's earned his spot. He should have been not necessarily WWE championship, but he should have had one of the world titles by now, for sure. And LA Knight says he's earned it, but it always took 38 people of Roman Reigns' clan to beat him, which I thought was pretty funny. And he says that LA Knight then goes on to say he's the uncrowned champion of the world. Again, LA Knight, Roman Reigns. Obviously, they're starting the feud. LA Knight is not beating Roman Reigns here. However, I do think that this is a test for LA Knight right now. And LA Knight is being given the ball by WWE. Give it to LA Knight and just saying, hey, here it is. Let's see what you can do with it. And this program with Roman Reigns, if it goes well, I think LA Knight could be one of the contenders for a title at WrestleMania. Not necessarily against Roman Reigns, because I think Oba Femi and Roman Reigns is going to happen. We could be looking at maybe LA Knight versus Punk. But what do you think? That's my theory. That is my radar. Do I have that photo up? Yeah, that is my radar of the night.
I think they can go a lot of different directions with this. Like you said, I think
there's so many directions they can go in. But I think if LA Knight is continuously hot here and he has a good program going with Roman Reigns, and obviously we know he's going to lose, but if he has a really good program here, how can WWE ignore this much longer?
I don't think it's about the ignoring. I think it's like, and I always say this, there's 5 championships for how many guys in the industry right now? Like it's I don't want to say it's terrible, but you're either going for a goal to get the belt or you're fighting because you don't like somebody. Like there isn't any storylines to really build on. Like Big Cass returning just to say, "Oh yeah, I'm here to kick ass." Like cool, like great, like power to you. But as you said before, what makes you interesting other than returning? Same with Baron Corbin. He came back as the lone wolf again. What makes you interesting? To me, nothing. So that's where I'm like you said, LA Knight interests me. He's good on the mic. He can break you down. He was about to get walked off on and then said, "Hey, Mr. Champion, don't you walk away from me. I got more to say." So he directed that and I'm like, "Yes, that's what we need." So I'm just I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here. I'm a little confused with everything. But that's where I'm saying like there's 5 belts for 50 guys to go for. At least here, he went up against Roman's family. Roman keeps sicking the family on him to the point where he literally had to go get Solo and Royce Keys to tag up with him. Like it just I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. I'm just glad that LA Knight is getting the opportunity to prove himself again, and it's most likely going to be in a steel cage, which would be cool.
Maybe, but typically the steel cage is like, like the end and blow off the feuds, whatever. But this is one thing that they got to do. This is one thing they got to do right here. Is LA Knight locks Roman Reigns' bloodline in a room where the bloodline cannot get out. And now to us fans, now we have, or so we think, we have Roman Reigns and LA Knight in the ring, one on one. We're getting the match that we finally want. Bloodline can't even get out of the locker room. They're locked in. They're blocked. However you want to do it. Throw, one of those, pallet machines in front of it or whatever, where they can't get out. Lock the door. Chain it up. Whatever you're gonna do.
Mm.
Because LA Knight's kind of like the type of character that would try something like that, So you got LA Knight, Roman Reigns, one on one, Bloodline lots in the back, and then Zilla Fatu shows up and costs LA Knight.
Mm.
And then you have a new member of the Bloodline there. And now we're setting up WWE Survivor Series, War Games. Bloodline,
Okay.
Zilla. You got your 5 there against LA Knight, Solo. Who else?
Seth. But
Possibly
now
Seth.
they seem like
Possibly
brothers.
Seth. I'm
So
not
Seth is
counting on
kind of
Seth.
gone. Yeah, no. Who are the Usos against?
Who was LA Knight and Solo just tagging up against the other night? Oh, Royce Keys. Royce Keys. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Yeah, that
You
was a
could
good one.
probably maybe get help from Punk or
Well,
Cody Rhodes or something like that.
Survivor Series, they're gonna all be in title matches, so that's where I don't know if Roman.
Don't even count on that. I mean, I wouldn't even count on that. Like last year, the main title match was Dominic's Intercontinental title match against John Cena, where Dominic beat John Cena, and then everybody else was in the War Games match.
True.
It seems like the Bloodline has been in a War Games match at least 3 times in the last 4 or 5 years already. I guess
If
I just
not,
kind of see it developing from a little bit from like a mile away. I'm just trying to figure out like who would be the other 2 guys that would team with LA Knight, Solo, and Royce Keys to fill out the rest of that team against Bloodline at War Games. So keep in mind they're low key building towards Survivor Series as well.
yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see if more people come around.
Maybe Oba. Maybe they get Oba involved.
That is actually brilliant. Now that you say that,
But do they want to give Oba and Roman Reigns away to be touching this soon. But let's see.
Okay, wait. Okay, so War Games came back to WWE in 2021, right?
2022, Boston.
2022, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The Bloodline was there in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2023, it was the two iterations of the Judgment Day. Okay. But that was also Jay Uso and Sami Zayn were in that, so still somewhat the Bloodline, but guys that weren't still in the Bloodline.
Yeah.
Then 2024 was the new Bloodline of Solo, Jacob, Tonga, and Tangaloa, and Bronson Reed against
Versus regular
Roman,
Bloodline and
Jimmy,
Punk.
Jay. So the entire Bloodline, right? The OG Bloodline.
And Punk was in there, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that was Sami Zayn, CM Punk, and the three Usos, right?
Okay.
And then 2025 was the Vision versus the Usos, Roman Reigns, CM Punk again, and then Cody stepped up instead. So instead of Sammy, it was the exact same group and Cody. So yes, it has literally been iterations of the Bloodline every single year except for 2023. And
Yeah.
Jey Uso and Sami Zayn were still in that match.
So the Bloodline is basically the strongest faction right now. Unless
Oh,
somehow injuries turn around, Logan Paul is healthy, and Bronson Reed comes back, which I'm pretty sure Bronson Reed's going to come back soon. Then we're very close to having a healthy Vision again. Maybe they throw the Vision in there, maybe, and then that's where maybe we get Obafemi and let's just say Street Profits and one other person to even if they want to go that route, and then Roman Reigns is his title shot. I don't know. So I would definitely I'm not completely sold that it'd be Vision. That'll be the faction that's in War Games this year. But it seems to me like it could very well be the Bloodline too, just to continue and build up the dominance storyline of the Bloodline.
yeah.
Is it just me, or is Roman Reigns kind of like very polarizing right now? Like we're gonna talk more about it because we saw um, Fatu and Royce Keys in a street fight, right, for the main event. And was it just me or Raw to go extra long last night? A little bit.
Yeah, I think it would end
It
up
went a
being
little
like
long,
two
right?
hours and 40 something minutes or something. Yeah, it felt long.
So I'm very confused about Roman Reigns right now. And maybe that's a good thing because that tells us that Roman Reigns is like the ultimate tweener, right? You're a good guy one day, then you're a bad guy the next. That he is like the definition of the ultimate tweener right now. It seems like it's just the bloodline is very polarized, and I'll explain a little bit more. But we see backstage Roman Reigns saying to the bloodline, "You guys had your chance. Leave LA Knight alone. You can't touch him." Basically telling the bloodline in so many words, you couldn't get the job done this weekend. Roman telling Jacob, don't trust anyone but your family. So that was a hint towards what we're gonna see in the main event. Royce Fatu destroying Royce Keys. So we get back from commercial and Royce Keys is in the locker room. Royce says to Jacob, regardless, we're family. But Jacob says, you aren't my brother or family. You are just one of the boys. And then we see Jacob Fatu challenge Royce Keys during Monday Night Raw. So fast forward. Um, let's see here. Okay, hold on a second. Gosh, so many notes here. Okay, we get the street fight. Um, Pretty cool spot with the guardrail. Um, with Royce Keys and whatever. Putting Fatu through the rail. Royce with the flying clothesline off the denounced table. So that was a really, really good spot to see a guy that size do that. Uh, he power slams Jacob Fatu to the chair. So Jacob Fatu was selling a lot for Royce and trying to get him over. Then we saw Fatu with the pop up Samoan through the Samoan drop through the table, and then a moonsault followed by the death grip, and that was just a quick barrage of offense, and Jacob Fatu gets the win. But Fatu would not let go of that death grip, and then went for more attacking, and Royce Keys is bleeding out of his mouth, as we can see right over here. So, I guess, like, Royce Keys had that strawberry stuff, the cherry stuff in his mouth there. Let's see if I pulled the right picture here. There we go. Yeah, you see Royce Keys laid out. All right. But then Roman Reigns comes out and gives Jacob Fatu the seal of approval with a nod. I'm like, Roman, you're acting like a good guy one moment, and then you're acting like a bad guy like the next. Like, what's happening here? Like, Ultimate Tweener stuff, and like Jacob's a full blown heel. You have Jey Uso, who every now and then is still doing his eating, but he's basically in heel mode with Jimmy Uso, and then Jimmy Uso's a tweener. Like, it's just a weird dynamic right now with the bloodline, don't you think?
I'm not the best with which reference this would be. If it would be, it feels like one of the Godfather movies. We've made it so far with the bloodline that this might be Godfather 3 at this point, freaking 15 years later. But whatever the case is, this feels like a Godfather story right now. As Roman is like head honcho, you want to root for them to do well, but you also hope that they fail. Like, he's running the show because he did this a few times. Who else did he call the shot with? I think Jay attacked. It was months back, but Jay was thinking about attacking somebody, and then Roman like gave the okay, and then Jay and Jimmy went and attacked.
Yeah, then Fatu attacked.
Right, Fatu with the attack.
It was one of those Raws not too far after Mania.
Yep. So there's been a few times where like Roman, like I said, he's basically like calling the shots, and he even made a note of it way early in the show. Is when I call my shots, I deliver, and that's another one. Like he said, oh, apparently Royce and you were saying you guys are family and brothers and everything. I don't see no family in him. He's not our family. So basically, you saw also Jacob made a choice last night to honor the bloodline, which is another big step in the bloodline direction. So yeah, it was definitely, I won't say too crazy to see. The blood to end the night was a little bit crazy, but yeah, in general, for them to keep that storyline going where Roman is really the one calling the shots here is actually like really cool in my opinion. Like I said, it makes it feel like a movie almost, or like literally, as I can't remember gentleman's name before that was commenting, but as he said, it feels like it's a new like television series, and like this is a new season today. Like it was kind of cool. We got Jacob listening to Roman again.
Yeah, and I wonder how long that's going to last too.
Right. Now that'd be another one where I feel like Jacob could also potentially, like, he's gonna be in the Money in the Bank match, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, if you win, you're not gonna go after Roman, obviously, right?" And then you have Braun could potentially win this thing, Oba could potentially win, Jacob could potentially win, LA Knight could potentially win. Haven't even talked about 4 guys on the SmackDown side that can win. You're looking at Royce Keys will potentially have a shot. You're looking Solo will have a chance. Cody could be in this match again. Randy just came back. Kevin Owens just came back. Like, there's a lot of guys. Javon Evans is really starting to prove himself in the ring. So, like, there's a lot of guys that could be Money in the Bank contenders. And now that Money in the Bank is October, 4 months later, you're right in Royal Rumble season. So they are going to need to find some winners, especially with Oba still being the king of the ring, and they've done nothing about that now. So, yeah, there's a lot of names and a lot of potential winners in the bunch.
Yeah, so that's how Raw ended for the most part. Fatu destroyed Royce Keys. Even though Royce Keys got his butt handed to him at the end, I think he was featured very well. Um, I like how WWE is using him. So, we'll see. But what really happened to end the show was Roman Reigns walks backstage into Gorilla and is confronted by Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio, these guys be acting like they don't know. Like they don't like Roman Reigns has no clue what's going on, but Rey Mysterio is like, you know I am the GM of Triple A, right? And Roman says, I do now. And Rey says, let me run something by you. Roman Reigns follows Rey Mysterio out. That ends the show. What could it possibly be that Rey Mysterio needed to talk to Roman Reigns about?
Um, I want to say there's that 2 night event that AAA is doing now, the 12th and the 13th. I remember seeing that broadcasted either on Raw or SummerSlam. I feel like Roman's going to have something to do with that. I feel like maybe they'll do a Roman Reigns classic or something like that. Um, I honestly don't. Yeah, I didn't really understand that, but like I said, I saw that there's going to be a 2 day event for
Is
AAA.
is it one of them Worlds Collide?
Ooh, is it? I couldn't remember. It's
I
very
almost
possible.
think because somebody brought that up, and if it is Worlds Collide, is it possible that Rey Mysterio is basically inviting Roman Reigns to be on one of those shows to fight with one of the top contenders or have a match with somebody on AAA?
So that's
Maybe to help get
actually
AAA over, or because they can. If it's Worlds Collide, you could do like NXT, AAA, WWE if you want.
I could see it. Well, that's 2 weeks after what I was referencing. That's going to be September 26th. I'm not too
Worlds
certain
Collide.
what the name of the AAA September 12th and 13th is. Let me see.
That's Triple Mania
That's Triple Mania.
weekend. Yeah, I know the
Okay.
11th was supposedly be Las Vegas, and then the next night was supposed to be in Mexico City. Is it possible that they decided to not do Mexico City AAA Triple Mania and then just do both nights in Vegas for Triple Mania? Did that
Nope.
happen?
No, they're doing a 2 night event. The night one will be at the MGM Grand in Vegas. Night two will be in Mexico City at Arena CDMX.
All right. So,
Yeah.
and
I
one
don't
could
see him
say
traveling
that,
to Mexico, but I could see
yeah,
him very easily going to Vegas. That's not a problem at all. And then Worlds Collide is 2 weeks after that. So there's definitely a lot that could be going on there.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the main event for Triple Mania is going to be Dominic versus El Grande, Night 2, Mexico City,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. I would say Roman would probably be at Triple Mania Night 1 in Vegas at the MGM. But very interesting to see. WWE Raw last night left us with a lot of potential starts to new feuds last night. And we had returns. I really, really enjoyed this show, Brandon.
I couldn't agree more. I just
And
know
then
that,
we
like you
still
said,
have the blow off show for SmackDown this week.
right?
Interested to see what Cody's gonna have to say. I'm wondering who's gonna show up on SmackDown now. Maybe do we get like maybe a couple call ups from NXT, like a Tatum Paxley or Lola Vice? So that kind of remains to be seen. But SmackDown Um, should be pretty interesting as well. But where do we go from here?
Um, my friend and I, we text a lot about WWE and what they're planning, and I feel like now there's gonna be just a tiny bit of oversaturation. So you're gonna see some guys, and then you won't see them for a week or two, and randomly come back. And I feel like they're gonna have some trouble putting everything together into coherent stories week after week. Because, like I said, Rusev seemed pretty damn upset after losing. We didn't see anything of him. Ethan Page lost, and then booked it when he saw a Big Cass come in. Like all the guys that we expect to be winners have kind of started to lose. And I understand you're not going to win every match, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to push people, they need to win. Like they need to prove why they're in WWE. Like I think the only guys that can really lose and stick around are like Akira Tozawa and The Miz. It used to be R-Truth, but now he's a champion. I think they lost the belts, but I haven't watched SmackDown in a minute.
Which is a surprise to me, Brandon, because SmackDown's for the most part, and maybe the tide changed on Monday night, but for the most part, SmackDown's consistently been the better show every single week.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get. I keep saying I'm gonna get back into it, and then Friday nights are tough. So I'm always doing something, watching something else.
Same. I
And
find
then,
myself like watching SmackDown on Saturdays and a little bit on Sundays. Like I'll always watch it. I'll always have it watched before Sunday. Really quick. I know we're not talking AEW tonight, obviously, but I have to say, like SummerSlam was good. Raw was fantastic, but the build leading up to SummerSlam was not that great. But the build to AEW All In, which is taking place at the end of this month, is really, really good. What the long term storytelling they've been trying to tell with Will Ospreay, I'm enjoying that. And then we have Willow Nightingale who won the AEW Women's Champion at Redemption, um, defeated Tekla, and now she's facing to WWE fans known as Sasha Banks, but Mercedes Monet. Um, I'm very excited about this match. To be honest with you, I really want Willow Nightingale to win this match and hold this title and see what she can do. And by the way, um, her and Shotzi, I think, and I think it was like Priscilla, the the redhead formerly with Fatal Influence or Fatal Attraction, whatever you want to call them. They're all actually going to be at an event nearby in Hauppauge in 2 weeks, not even for
huh.
meet and greets. I'll have to send that to you. Like I think they're going to be like a 2 days, like Saturday and Sunday. Like it's like $25 or $35 to get in, and then so hopefully I'm gonna try to talk to Shotzi and see if maybe she can get on our show. But we know Willow Nightingale is under AEW contract, but that's not happening. But Willow Nightingale will definitely be a fun meet. Like she's definitely growing on me. Like one of my favorite WWE, sorry, AEW female talents.
Yeah, I remember watching a couple of matches of hers over the last few months, and she's definitely one of the better moving athletes as the women.
Yeah. Mm.
Like she actually kept me engaged throughout her entire match. So that's all I could really ask for from any wrestler. So yeah, she seemed really good. I know I'm most likely gonna watch for my dad. I think I'm going away that weekend. Actually, I have no clue anymore. I got to plan so much stuff out.
Oh, so yeah, All In is on a Saturday at 3 o'clock. Thank God. Thank
Right, it's in
God.
London. Right. I
It's in
don't think I'll
London.
be able to
Yes.
watch.
I can't sit there and start these AEW pay-per-views at 7, 8 o'clock at night if they're gonna go on for 5 hours.
No, that's true. The
which is
the eight
wild.
to
Like
eight to 12:45 was bad.
yeah, I was watching the last pay per view, Redemption, the 5 hour pay per view. Like, why are we doing this? It's not even their main pay per view.
I can do 7 to 11:45. If I'm in bed by 12, I'm okay.
It was
But
just a long. It was just a
yeah.
long day already for me on that particular Sunday, and by 10 o'clock, I was like, I can't finish this. I got to be up for work tomorrow morning.
hmm
But
And of course,
we
you
did a
can't take
whole
your.
we did a whole rant on that on episode 166, I think it was last Thursday. So you guys will have to check that out. But yeah, there's a whole rant on that. Anyway, so that pretty much wraps up our show this week. There was a lot to unpack with WWE, a lot of returns, a lot of fresh storylines. I'm very excited about where we're headed to this Friday and Monday. Hopefully, they keep it up. Please, for the love of God, let's have a good fall season. Fall seasons have been, not necessarily under Triple H umbrella, but fall seasons in general for WWE have historically been very bad. But I got my fingers crossed on this one. We had a very good Raw. WWE fans are very excited, and let's see what we can get next week. Um, to my knowledge, I think SmackDown's in Philadelphia this Friday. If that's the case, I would expect a decent show. When you're in Philly or any city like that, Chicago, New York City, even Houston, sometimes Pittsburgh, those crowds are hot. You got to deliver a good show. So I'm fully confident that the next couple shows will be very good for WWE. We're getting closer to AEW All In, which I'm very excited about. And shortly after there, Sunday night main event, about a week after that, and then we're building to Money in the Bank. So we'll have Money in the Bank qualifiers before you know it. So I guess we're gonna have a pretty good couple weeks in wrestling in general. So any last words for you, Brandon?
Um, did you see who Chelsea Green? Um, how would you say? Who she acknowledged after she won her belt?
Michael Hayes.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
If
that
you
was
know,
done
you
out of
know type
pure
stuff.
sarcasm, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken.
No, it's well. He was literally, I think, on the Netflix documentary things.
Unreal.
Unreal, yes. He said that like Chelsea's good, but like she's not someone to put in the Charlotte Flair or the Tiffany Stratton role. Like she'll never be that person. And damn, when I tell you the pop she got was 70,000 people, and the pop she's going to continue getting now that she'll most likely hold the belt up until Money in the Bank. Yeah, she's. I couldn't agree more. Tell Michael Hayes to shove it. Like,
Part of me believes that WWE Unreal is unreal, meaning not real.
oh
Like
yeah,
I feel
no
like part of
question.
WWE Unreal is kind of scripted that they're only going to allow you to see what they want you to see, and they're going to take out what they don't want you to see.
And then the best
You
is the
only
wrestlers that get upset about what's being shown. And I'm like, you know what? That's how I know it's completely fake, because they are talking, thinking it's all behind the scenes, and then it's shown. Like that's insane to me. So yeah, like you said, I think it's very similar to a lot of the Total Divas stuff, if you will, like all the stuff that looks like reality TV shows and it's obviously not reality. Yeah, I think, like you said, a lot of it is unreal because it's not real.
no 100%. Well, that wraps up episode 167. Be on the lookout for another AEW heavy episode coming up very soon, whether it be this week or next week. Definitely happening very soon as we get into all in. We'll be talking more AEW. Um, we will be back at the latest next Friday of I'm sorry, next Tuesday to discuss the weekend of WWE and Raw. I think we're gonna bust out a top five this Friday. What do you think, Brandon? What do you think? Maybe top five best SummerSlam main events of all time. Is that a top five we do?
I could do it. I could see it happening. Maybe even
Yeah,
you
I
know
think that's a
what?
pretty good idea.
I think top 5 SummerSlam returns would be great because we had a bunch.
Top five SummerSlam returns would be pretty interesting. I'll have to do some digging in my library right here to think back to some of the SummerSlam returns we've had in the past.
I like it. I like it. I will. And we got a couple of days to talk about it, so see if anything else cracks. But I think I like it. Top 5 SummerSlam matches or main
Main
events. That's cool.
events. Yeah. Those of you guys that are watching, thank you so much. We'll be back very soon. Be on the lookout for more content on the channel. Make sure you guys share this with your friends and family. If you guys are listening on iTunes or Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. For the love of God, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This will not only help us out, but you'll get more content through our YouTube channel than anywhere else we are streaming to. So make sure you guys do that. Brandon, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. I am signing off immediately. It is 11:35 Eastern Time. It's time to go to sleep. So on that note, to all you guys out there, thank you so much and have a good night.
Agility from the champion. Uh-oh! Oh,